Sean Graham. Replays on Medieval Total War Viking Invasion. Gold Edition. Software. Strategy software.
This is an age of darkness. A world of fear, power, and death. But a few forge their destiny. Medieval Total War.
Single player. Start or continue a campaign game. Fight an historical battle. Create a custom battle. View replays. Or create new battle maps. New campaign. Select a faction, build an impregnable empire and place your throne upon it. Load campaign. Load a previously saved game. Custom battle. Create your own battle scenarios. Historical battles. Partake in an ancient battle and fight it the way it should have been fought. Historical campaigns. Embark on a series of historical battles and fight for your place in history. View replays. View previously saved replays of battles you have fought. Map editor. Create new maps or edit existing ones. I'm going to go on view replays. My replays. Sean first win. Battle of Bannockburn. August the 11th, 2019. 11:40 p.m. View replay. Chivalric Knights. Robert the Bruce. Battle radar map. English army highlighted in red. The Scottish army highlighted in blue. English general, King Edward II. Scottish general, King Robert the Bruce. The Battle of Bannockburn, 1314. My battle replay. The victory. Time Commanders, the Time Commanders series. Presenter Eddie Mair and Richard Hammond. Spectacular battles. Positioning my army, the Scottish Army, Highland Clansmen, and Chivalric Knights, Robert the Bruce's unit, General's unit. The medieval high period. King Edward II's army. Robert the Bruce's army, 35 chivalric knights. Robert the Bruce's unit. First engagement with 100 Scottish spearmen. King Edward II's feudal knights. Medieval Total War Strategy Guide by Rick Barber. Some say war changes nothing, perhaps they're using the wrong strategy. If an empire is to rise, so too must a leader. Can you feel the shoes of a famous historical hero? Command vast armies across the battlefields of Europe and North Africa and guide your kingdom's fortunes through brutal conflict and violent upheaval. This essential volume will show you how. Rewrites 400 years of history. Bullet point comprehensive strategy. Bullet point complete real-time and turn-based coverage. Bullet point detailed specs for over 100 units. Bullet point exclusive tips and inside information. Bullet point plus expert empire building tactics, in-depth combat system coverage and much more. King Edward II's unit. Feudal Knights, 65 Feudal Knights. Price, USA,
$19.99.
Irresistible charge.
Canada, $28.99. UK, £14.99. Part 1, General Strategy and Tactics. Part 2, the single player campaigns. Appendices.
Highland Clansman. Very strong charge. The Battle of Bannockburn, 1314. The Scottish Wars of Independence. Sean Graham's replay.
Appendix 3, Vices and Virtues. Faction leaders, governors and generals acquire vices and virtues during a game. Some of these can have a very significant effect on your strategic situation on the campaign map, or your tactical considerations on the battle map. For example, a governor who is a compulsive gambler lowers both his province's agricultural output and trade income by 20%, a pretty hefty penalty for a vice. End of replay. Battle of Bannockburn 1314. A victory for Sean Philip Graham. On the other hand, if your faction leader acquires the virtue of being a magnificent builder, this increases happiness by +10 in all of your provinces, and it gives a +2 loyalty boost to every general in your faction. Here's a recap of how vices and virtues work in the game. If an army commander has a vice or virtue that affects morale or command, the penalty or bonus applies to his entire army, that is, to each of the units in the army. If his vice/virtue affects only valor, the penalty or bonus applies only to the general's own unit. These command-orientated vices and virtues affect governors or your faction leader just as they would a normal general. Vices and virtues, but governors and your faction leader can acquire certain vices and virtues that affect province-wide or kingdom-wide relations. happiness, dread, acumen, loyalty, piety, building, agriculture, or trade. If the King of France is a great trader, for example, this adds plus 10 happiness in all provinces controlled by the French faction, and it boosts all French trade income by plus 20%. If a French provincial governor is a great trader, however, the effects apply only to his province. So if the Duke of Burgundy gains the great trader virtue, the same bonuses of plus 10 happiness and plus 20% trade income apply only to Burgundy. When a provincial governor acquires a vice or virtue that has a province-wide effect, its bonus or penalty applies to his province, no matter where he is or who is currently sitting in his province. The king, other governors, it doesn't matter. The only person whose location does matter is the faction leader. The loyalty of both generals and regions depends on their distance to the faction leader. The further away he is, the more loyalty drops. Following is a complete list of all vices and virtues available in the game. Name of vice or virtue. Able lieutenant. Effects. With a lieutenant to carry out many of his duties extremely well, this man inspires confidence just through his choice of servants. Plus 2 acumen, plus 20 happiness. Able scholar. This man's abilities as a learned man have few equals, but his time to study the practical arts of war has been severely limited. Plus 2 acumen, minus 2 valor. Always drunk. He drinks constantly and is very often drunk. Needless to say, this affects his ability to command. Minus 2 command, minus 1 acumen. Alcoholic. He engages in epic bouts of drinking lasting days at a time, punctuated by deep depressions and sudden violence. Minus 3 command, minus 2 acumen, plus 1 dread. Ambitious. He seeks power and glory and focuses much effort on political intrigue to achieve this. Plus 1 dread, minus 1 loyalty. Art lover. He believes that great art is worthy of support and encouragement wherever it is found. He has the confidence to spend money well on the work of the very best artists. Minus 10% agricultural output, minus 10% trade income. Chivalrous. Chivalry and honour are meat and drink to this man. He is incapable of taking advantage of an enemy in a fair fight. Plus 2 morale, minus 2 dread. Drinker. He enjoys drinking slightly more than is prudent. Most things can wait until he sobers up, but battles cannot. Minus 1 command. deep religious urges. His religious leanings are central to his character, and his faith leads him to support, financially and practically, religious authorities at all times. Minus 15% agricultural output, minus 15% trade income. Deep thinker, philosopher, he is a more than passing acquaintance with the works of classical scholars, making him a probably educated, if sometimes impractical man. Minus 10% agricultural output, minus 10% trade income. Expert siege defender. He is an expert at organising men and supplies, penetrating enemy lines and maintaining a disciplined garrison, plus 3 years to siege duration. Expert defender. He is an expert in defence, well known for his ability to exploit terrain, lay ambushes, and force attackers into unwise decisions. Plus 2 command when defending. Expert attacker. He is an expert in the art of attacking defensive positions. Plus 2 command when attacking. Expert assaulter. He is an expert in assaulting castles. Plus 2 command when assaulting castles. Expert assault defender. He is an expert at defending castles against assaults. Plus 2 command when in this situation. Famous warrior. He is famous for his skill on the battlefield, and few can hope to match him in single combat. Plus 20 health, plus 3 valor. Famously brave. This man's courage naturally raises the fighting spirit of anyone who fights at his side. Plus 1 valor, plus 1 morale. Educated. He has a good education, having a basic understanding of philosophy, theology, and the classics, plus 1 acumen. Extreme loyalty. Accusations of treason have left this man with the desire to prove himself more loyal than anyone else. Plus 3 loyalty. Vices and virtues. Name of vice and virtue. A gambler. Effects. He enjoys gambling and will wager on the outcome of almost any chance event. For him, the money at stake is less important than the thrill. Minus 10% agricultural output, minus 10% trade income. God-fearing. Effects. He has attracted much interest from the Inquisition, despite spending most of his time praying and much of the rest engaged in good works. Minus 4 dread, plus 4 piety. Great leader. He leads from the front with great courage, and all who follow him love him for it and are inspired to great deeds. Plus 6 morale, plus 3 loyalty. Date 26th of April 2020. Time 12:07 p.m. in the afternoon. Good afternoon. Recording by Sean Philip Graham. Medieval Total War. Historical Battle. Historical Campaign. The Scottish Wars of Independence.